There is a famous city in the Middle East that is so ancient where history, spirituality, and culture comes to life. Known as the City of God, it has been a crossroad for civilizations over 3000 years. This is where the ancient meets the modern. From the sacred Western Wall where the prayers never cease, to the majestic dome of rock and the winding streets of the old city, every corner in this city would tell a story. And the name of this city is Jerusalem. But Jerusalem is not just all about history. It has always been an epicenter of ever continuing conflicts, especially the conflicts involving the religions. Jerusalem has been at the heart of wars for millennia, with empires like Babylonians, Romans, and Crusaders battling for control. This 4,000-year-old city is one of the most contested cities in history. It remains as the center of beliefs and ideologies of three major religions in the world: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The significance of this city has led to an often complex and volatile history of conflicts. According to the Jewish historical records, around 1000 BC, approximately 3000 years ago, King David conquered the city of Jerusalem and established a unified Jewish kingdom. He named this kingdom as the Kingdom of Israel and declared Jerusalem as its capital. After David, his son Solomon ascended to the throne and built a place of worship for the Jewish people in Jerusalem. This became the first Jewish temple, also referred as the Solomon Temple. This temple served as the primary place of worship for the Jewish people until it was completely destroyed in 587 BC by Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar. Then in 516 BC, during the reign of Persian king Darius I, a second Jewish temple was built on the same spot where the first temple once stood. However, in 70 CE, Roman army captured Jerusalem and set fire to this second temple as well. And the Roman soldiers ransacked this temple and stole many Jewish artifacts. Since that event, no other main place of worship has been built for the Jewish people in Jerusalem. However, according to their belief, their Messiah will return when the world reaches the year 6000 since their creation as per their calendar. Before that event happens, it is believed that the Jewish people will build a third temple in Jerusalem from where their Messiah will rule over the world. According to the Jewish calendar, as on today, their year is 5785. Compared to the Gregorian calendar that we follow, the year 6000 will fall in 2240, that is 215 years from now. Because of these religious and historical beliefs, Jerusalem holds profound significance for the Jewish people, as they see their future centered around this city. According to Islamic tradition, Jerusalem gained importance due to an event that is believed to have happened in 620 or 621 CE. When Prophet Muhammad was living in the city of Mecca, one night angel Jibril appeared before him. The angel brought a celestial creature called Burak, described as a white winged being capable of traveling at unimaginable speed. Muhammad mounted Burak and was transported from Kaaba in Mecca to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem in an instant. From Al-Aqsa Mosque, Prophet Muhammad is said to have ascended through the seven heavens guided by angel Jibril. During this celestial journey, he encountered several prophets at different levels of heaven, including Adam, John the Baptist, Jesus, Joseph, Enoch, Aaron, Moses, and Abraham. Finally, he reached Sidrat al-Muntaha, the low tree of utmost boundary, from where even Jibril could go no further. It is believed that Muhammad went beyond and met God Allah in person. Here, he was given command for Muslims to pray 5 times a day. Initially, 50 daily prayers were ordained, but upon Moses' advice, Muhammad repeatedly petitioned for a reduction until it was set to 5. This entire journey, known as Isra and Miraj, the night journey and ascension, is believed to have taken place in a single night. Since the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem was at the center of this miraculous event, this city holds great religious importance in Islam. As a result, Jerusalem is considered as the third holiest site in Islam after Mecca and Medina. According to Christian tradition, two of the most significant events in Christian history took place in Jerusalem. Calvary, the place where Jesus Christ was crucified, is located in this city. Also, the tomb where his body was laid to rest and from where he was believed to have risen from the dead on the third day is also located in Jerusalem. Because of these events, Jerusalem holds great religious significance for Christians around the world. Because of the deep religious history, the city of Jerusalem and its neighboring city Bethlehem are home to numerous religiously significant sites and places of worship associated with Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Many of these locations are deeply tied to religious history and are considered as sacred locations for followers of these three faiths. Some of these sites are connected to more than one religion or shared among different groups within the same faith. This overlap has led to long-standing disputes about ownership and access to these holy places. The complex religious significance of these sites makes Jerusalem a uniquely important and contested city for Christians, Jews, and Muslims. As we saw before, the two most significant Christian sites are located in Jerusalem. The Calvary, or called as Golgotha, where Jesus Christ was crucified, and his tomb, from where Jesus had resurrected. These two spots are located in Jerusalem. A large church has been built encircling both of these spots. This church is called as the Church of Holy Sepulchre, which has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And this church is considered as the most significant site for all the Christian people around the world. In the 4th century, Roman Emperor Constantine converted to Catholic Christianity around 312 CE, becoming the first Roman emperor to accept Christianity. As a significant historical figure, he ordered the construction of a church that encompasses Calvary and Jesus' tomb. This church was built between 335 and 336 CE. From that time onwards, this church became a sacred place of worship for early Christians. However, in 614 CE, it was destroyed by fire during the Sasanian invasion. This church was later rebuilt from its remains between 616 and 626 CE by the efforts of a Christian monk, Modestus. Shortly after this, the church had survived the Arabian conquest in 635 CE. But this church was completely destroyed in 1009 CE when the Egyptian Caliph Al-Hakim B. Amarallah invaded and captured Jerusalem. Then in 1048 CE, Byzantine Emperor Constantine Monocomus IX rebuilt this church. This reconstructed building is the same structure that still stands today. When Jerusalem was under Islamic rule during First Crusade in 1099 CE, Christian crusaders captured the city, bringing the church under Christian control once more. During this period, this church was expanded and modernized. Over the centuries, Jerusalem and this church saw numerous political and religious changes, yet this church was continuously preserved and maintained. Various Christian groups maintained and made modification to the church according to their traditions and beliefs. As a result of these continuous changes and involvement of different Christian groups, an inevitable question eventually arose. Who owns this church? To be precisely asked, which Christian group has the rightful ownership? Once this question was asked, each of the Christian groups began to claim exclusive ownership, leading to disputes and sometimes escalated into conflicts that even led to violent clashes resulting in bloodshed. This is not just the case related only to this church. Similar conflicts regarding the ownership and authority over many other significant religious sites in Jerusalem and its neighboring city of Bethlehem have been leading to frequent tensions and unrests. These disputes were largely due to the overlapping dominance over these religious sites by multiple religious groups. Despite the numerous political changes in Jerusalem and Bethlehem over the centuries, conflicts over these religious sites continued to occur throughout the history. In the early 16th century, both these cities were conquered by Ottoman Empire. In 1754, Sultan Osman III became the Ottoman ruler. He came to know about these ongoing disputes and the religious sites that were being the epicenters of these conflicts in Jerusalem and Bethlehem. Sultan Osman decided to resolve these issues. As a result, he implemented a permanent solution by issuing a royal decree. According to this decree, the disputed sites in Jerusalem and Bethlehem shall no longer belong exclusively to any one particular religion or any specific group within any religion. Instead, they shall be shared equally by all those who currently claim ownership. This arrangement is known in English as status quo, meaning the existing state of affairs. Under the status quo agreement, if more than one group claims ownership of a site or an object, equal ownership is granted to all the claimants, and no one can claim exclusive possession. This policy was officially declared as an imperial decree and has governed the administration and access to these religious sites ever since. Either out of respect for Sultan's authority or because it seemed like a fair solution, all the involved religious groups accepted this royal decree. Based on this, an agreement was drafted in 1757 CE, and representatives from all related religious groups signed this agreement. Unfortunately, Ottoman Sultan Osman III passed away later that same year, but the agreement he established continues to be honored to this day. Under Sultan Osman III's decree, the agreement listed out a total of 9 religious sites. 6 sites associated with Christianity, 1 site shared by Christianity and Islam, 2 sites shared by Islam and Judaism. Out of these 9 sites, 5 are located in Jerusalem, while the remaining 4 are located in Bethlehem. The Church of Holy Sepulchre is at the top of this list. According to the status quo agreement, this church is shared by 6 Christian denominations: Roman Catholic, Greek Orthodox, Coptic Orthodox, Syriac Orthodox, Ethiopian Orthodox, and finally Armenian Apostolic. The agreement declares the Church of Holy Sepulchre as a shared place of worship for all the six Christian denominations. The key principle of this agreement is that any changes to be made at the church, whether it is small or significantly big, can only be carried out if all six denominations agree to it. The rule is so strict that even moving something as small as a table or a chair from one place to another within the church premises requires consent and approval from all the six denominations. It may seem like a simple and straightforward solution which can be easily stick to, but the major problem here is that these six denominations have never agreed with each other on anything. They have never worked together in unity or made any compromises. Due to the lack of cooperation, since the day this agreement was established, most of the items in this church have remained in the same position without being moved. Because if anyone tried to move anything without permission, it would lead to a major conflict. For example, in the year 2002, a violent clash occurred between Ethiopian Orthodox and Coptic Orthodox groups. The main reason for this conflict was a simple chair and a tree. A Coptic Orthodox priest, seeking shadow, moved his chair beneath a nearby tree. However, this tree was under the control of Ethiopian Orthodox group. So the Ethiopian Orthodox group protested against the Coptic Orthodox group. As a result, the situation escalated into a major confrontation between these two groups, causing injuries to several people. Finally, the Israeli police had to intervene as the situation became so out of control. This is just one example, as many incidents have occurred many times in the past. Just like the chair and tree, all the objects in this church are owned by these groups. A notable example of such an object is this ladder. This ladder is kept on the ledge above the church's main entrance, just below two large windows. To be precise, the ladder is kept on the ledge below the right side window. The Armenian Apostolic denomination owns both these windows, the ledges and the ladder. And the weird story is that this ladder has never been moved in the last 300 years. Because of this ladder is referred as the immovable ladder. Now let's take a look at the history of this ladder. This ladder first appeared in the blueprint of this church when it was drawn in 1728, which means 29 years before Sultan Osman's royal decree in 1757. This is the first document confirming the presence of this ladder in the church. The 1757 agreement also mentions the ladder while listing the objects present in the church. After this ladder appears in a painting drawn in 1842, then also appears in a photograph of this church taken in 1850, and can also be seen in few other paintings drawn between 1874 and 1878, as well as in numerous photographs taken since 1880. The ladder's presence has been consistently recorded in various historical records. However, there is no clear information about who placed this ladder here, when it was placed, or why it was left here. It is believed that the ladder was possibly used by a construction worker who might have left it here for some unknown reason, and this ladder has been placed here for around 300 years. In 1964, the leader of Catholic Church, Pope Paul VI, came to this church. During his visit, he made a statement saying that this ladder is a visible symbol of division within Christianity. But the truth is that the Catholic Church is also equally responsible for the ongoing disputes in the Church of Holy Sepulchre. Even though this ladder is called as the immovable ladder, this ladder has been moved from this spot only twice in the past 300 years. The first incident occurred in 1997. A Protestant Christian man entered the church and pulled the ladder from the spot through the window and threw it behind an altar before fleeing. This man later made a statement saying that he did this to make a point of silliness of the argument over whose ledge it is. After this incident, the ladder was placed again in its original spot. But to prevent anyone else from doing something similar, the window above the ladder was covered with a metal grate. In the year 2009, the church's bell tower required some repairs. In order to construct a scaffolding, the ladder was temporarily moved beneath the left window. Once the repairs were completed, the ladder was placed back in its original spot beneath the right window. Before these two events, there was an attempt to steal the ladder in 1981, but this was successfully prevented by the Israeli police. This so-called immovable ladder, which has been kept in the same spot for over 300 years, is just a simple wooden ladder, and it does not possess any particular uniqueness. But is it because of the history behind this ladder gives such an importance to this simple object? The answer is certainly no. The true reason lies in the meaningless divisions and lack of unity among the Christian denominations that controls the Church of Holy Sepulchre. That is the bitter truth. In the end, the story of Immovable Ladder stands as a powerful reminder of the complexities of human history, faith, and division. This ladder has witnessed many historical events for around 3 centuries, but it still has not witnessed a change in humans. This ladder still stands here as a symbol of human foolishness and will stand here for many more centuries as a testament to the unyielding divisions that persist among the humans in the name of religion. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share it with your friends. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button and enable the notification bell.